Oh, it is?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Okay.
Today is Monday, November 8th. Time is 6:33, and this is a meeting of the Hanson Recreation Commission in the Needles Lodge at Campground Rules. In attendance are Melissa Scartini, Diane Cumming, Joe Fazzetti,
Brian Fazzetti.
Frank Lucy.
Audrey Flanagan, Dory Davidson. And we have in the audience, do I have to vote for people?
Bruce Young. John Suzo. Roger Weeds.
Patty, sorry. There we go. All right, we're going in order here, I guess. Before approval of the minutes. Sure. All right. Discussion on comedy night, I guess. 11/19. This was added last minute, I guess. So you're talking about
We talked to her.
all right, so this is, Brian, you want to just explain this packet that we have?
This is a packet of a comedy night that was booked as a birthday party, and it's on social media as an event that we know nothing of, from an organization that states that they're a 501c3. We've been through this before. There are no documents that match that search on the state website. They list their home as Kingston Collection Way, which if you see the store map, they are not in Kingston Collection Way. So this is one more event that it's deception. Why wasn't it brought forth for us as an event with an 80-20 gross and as letting it come through as a birthday party? This is not right.
Okay, we did have some updated documents sent to us before the meeting, I saw that. There's a, go ahead.
So, can we confirm that it was given to us as a birthday party?
It's actually a drag queen show.
Drag show.
Drag
show.
Drag show. This disputes that.
What's that?
This disputes that.
Well, no,
Well, no, it's not a comedy night, but it was originally, it was
meant
it was meant to be a drag queen night for a fundraiser. So they must have
Nothing about
switched.
fundraiser. I checked with Dory, and there was no fundraiser plan for this. Fundraisers are 80-20, and it was arrested on an hourly basis.
You don't have anything in your policies and procedures that says that a fundraiser. No, you don't, Joan. I've been through them 4 times today. There's nothing in the policies and procedures that says any fundraiser has to be an 80-20 split. There's actually nothing in the policies and procedures on how to handle a fundraiser.
First and foremost, a fundraiser is for a nonprofit. This is not a nonprofit.
She's
This is
not paying a
licensed.
reduced rate either. She's paying full rate for the event, for the rental.
She's paying $400. Why are they deceiving us?
so,
We've been through this before.
Correct.
okay,
So
so,
Frank and I have been through it. So for what we're seeing is that she paid $400 for a 4-hour event. The only other rate structure that you have is for a wedding. This isn't a wedding, so this would fall under the $400 for the 4-hour rental.
so, I mean, are we getting into the business of telling people in weddings before what they can use the lodge for when they get there? We don't have anything in our policies and procedures that say they can't do a fundraiser. There's nothing in our policy and procedures that a fundraiser has to be an 80-20 split. From what my understanding, I read the policy and procedures as well today. If there's something that's contradicting that in the contract, that's completely, I'd like to show it to me because I'd like to see it. But I don't know anything that says a fundraiser has to be an 80-20 split. Now, what you're saying is that it deception, whatever. Her 501c3 status on here, I mean, really has no bearing on the event that she has.
You're calling it a fundraiser for a for-profit event.
But that's for her fundraiser. That's the people getting the money. That's the people who are giving her the money for the comedy to sort that out. That's not our prerogative, essentially. Right?
So is this our new business practice? We let this go on? We've been through this with this group.
I have not been through it, so I don't know.
It's a bad history.
I would imagine.
It was another commission.
I understand that, and I get that, but on the other hand, we are not giving her a reduced rate for the social children's trust. I checked to see 501c3 status. You are absolutely correct. It is not a verified 501c3, but that's not for that's for her fundraisers and the people that she is charging $40 a ticket to take that prerogative and bring that to her issue. She rented a lodge for a event, or it was originally a drag show, but she changed it to a common night. Realistically, if anybody else came to the commission or anybody else wanted to reschedule it, for something like change to a common night, we wouldn't be having this discussion. Is essentially how I see it. I understand that there might be some issues that we had in the past with Juvie and the Children's Museum in particular, but we're not in the business of her essentially, not being a 501c3 and charging her people. She runs a facility for us. And there's nothing our policy that says.
And to see this while she was doing it. And that's okay.
So, no, where's the deception? She had an event she was originally a drag queen show or something.
There's no contract.
There was originally a drag queen show, and then she changed it to a comedy. Is that the deception that you're talking about?
Yes, where's the contract? Please, show us.
Dory has to.
Right, so that came in today.
Today.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that it was right for it to come in today.
But it's been on the calendar, so at some point she gave a deposit to hold the date.
Has another deposit given? No, the deposit came in today with the paperwork.
Then you had a $200 security deposit
Security deposit from a prior event.
that she asked for you to use for this event to hold the event.
And didn't disclose what this event was.
I
Did she disclose what the event was?
I knew what the event was before any of this happened, just by hearing
Did you
from
know it
her.
was this?
I thought it was a drag queen night.
Well, I never saw anything on anywhere. The comedy night is the only thing I saw. And it's still deceptive. It was all deceiving. It's all behind closed doors. And she's not legal as far as I'm concerned, because this South Shore Children's Museum is no longer in existence. So,
The only thing I can add to this, I was at the selectmen's meeting on November 2nd, when they approved the liquor license for a Leah,
Leah Caldwell.
Snowdale, and it said party. It didn't say drag queen night, it didn't say anything about it just said party. So when I hear party, you automatically assume that it comes under your website. It says, showers, birthday parties, and anniversary parties, $400 for a 4-hour function, okay? Then right under that, it says, and this is on your website, it says local fundraisers, nonprofit groups, call for rates. That's what it says. It says call for rates.
Bruce, can you do me a favor? Transparency, read the whole policy, because there's more to that line than just call for rates.
Oh, and then it says call for rates, period, next sentence, okay? Any rate reductions must be approved by the Hanson Board of Selectmen. So my interpretation of that is this, okay? Showers, birthday parties, anniversary parties, $400 for our functions. That would usually be any kind of a family party or a party. I had my son's birthday party here, like 50th birthday party, 2 years ago, and I paid $100 an hour, okay? I wouldn't expect that any kind of organization or business that holds a function like that is going to be paying the same rate that I paid for my son. All right? It's just my opinion. But when you don't have a basic rate structure, then you go by past practice. So what was your past practice when you had either an organization, a fundraiser, a 501c, or whatever, or people or businesses doing something here? Did they pay $100 an hour for an event, or did they pay $100 an hour? Because if you don't have a rate structure for that, then you go by what past practice. So what was your past practice?
80-20.
It was 80/20.
And it was a comedy night.
Right, so I don't know how you can say that there isn't some kind of legitimacy as far as what your past practice was for this particular organization, because the meetings that I attended or I watched or I looked at your minutes for was charging this particular organization and other organizations an 80/20 split. And that was it. And why would the selectmen think that it was a party if it was either a drag queen night, or it was going to be a comedy night or an event and a fundraiser, or which basically might morph into something else in the in-between period.
So I understand that we're going back to the 501c3, and I understand what you're saying, how.
No, I didn't mention that. All I said was past practice. That was the past practice.
Past practice, right, past practice, that makes a difference, right, but it also changes with the people that are on the board. There's nothing, if the past practice is there, it should be in the policies and procedures, right? We can't make and say, we can make up our own rules at that point, right? We can say past practice was 80/20 split, and some events were 400. We have to put it in our policies and procedures in order to laminate this, so we don't have a past practice, we have a policies and procedures that does it, right?
And I understand the absence of policy procedures where it says local fundraisers, nonprofit groups, call for rates.
No, local fundraisers and nonprofit groups call for rates reductions will be.
That's the next sentence.
Correct, it's calling, it's from the way that I read that policy and procedure, it's saying if you're a fundraiser or you are a charity or 401c3 charity and you would like a reduced rate, call us. All reduced rates have to be approved by the commission. The commission doesn't vote for any other events to happen here, right? Any wedding that comes through, we don't see that as a
Call
vote.
for rates.
It's the same paragraph,
Yeah.
right? So you can take
But
one
if
sentence.
it's the same organization that was here last year and the year before with an 80/20 split, how does that change? How does that?
Because that 80/20 split contract was only for that particular day, it wasn't for the existence of that organization here at the camp.
Which.
So the contract, I don't know what, the
You know,
contract
you
that
have
was.
one contract, but you had multiple instances of that particular organization holding other events during that particular time period for 80/20.
Correct, so,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but those other instances were when the Recreation Commission was helping with those, co-sponsoring those 80/20 events. That's why they were an 80/20 event, because they were co-sponsored by the Recreation Commission. The museum was a way for us to collect the money for the event, because we were not allowed as a commission to collect money at events, to raise money.
Hold on.
Then why did you have a contract?
Hold on, Diane, you broke the rules.
I understand that everybody's issue is with the current 501(c)(3) standing of the Social Children's Museum, and I understand that they are on the website. I do know that they are working with the district attorney and various attorneys and accountants to get their 501(c)(3) back up to active status in a legal way. That was very much put on hold by the pandemic. All of these other events that we did do with the South Shore Children's Museum were ones where there was an 80/20 split. We were using our staff, we were using volunteers that we got as well as the Children's Museum got. And we did decide on an 80/20 splits because we had the benefit of their email list and their people, so that they could bring people, new people, and make the camp more well-known. So we sort of thought that that was more of a collaboration. That was always my understanding of it. We definitely don't have anything in policies and procedures specific to fundraising events. But I think the line in the current policies and procedures sort of covers it with, for rates that need to be approved by the Board of Selectmen. And simply said, nope, they're paying the regular rate. And that's what we decided on, we're paying the regular rate. And no, that I can absolutely say The paperwork did not, on this particular event, come through in a timely manner. I absolutely 100% will never dispute that. I believe it's my understanding, and I think maybe you told me this, that they, or maybe it was Judy, I don't know. I didn't know about this, so, but I think they opted not to go with the drag queen because they couldn't come to a contract negotiation agreement. I think that's what happened with the drag queens. So they put this together so that I guess they could do some kind of fundraising for the museum, which will help them pay the attorneys that they need in order to get the federal money back. So I don't know what the commission is going, I don't know what kind of thing we want to bring forth. We don't have a specific policy and procedure regarding this. It's something that we should have. I guess we're sort of playing catch up because so many of these events were never brought here before, which is a good thing that they're being brought here now. I mean, that's the positive thing, and that was a positive outcome to the relationship we had with this organization. So, again, paperwork was not done in a timely manner. The $200 that was here that we were keeping from the previous event that they had was to be a security deposit for that day. But through whatever miscommunication, and I'm going on record here, and I know Julie's going to get upset with me, but because there was just a little bit of chaos in the situation, I'm sure, paperwork didn't get done properly. So, and the contract was not filled out. I'm curious to know, did anyone else call to use that date?
No, they didn't.
Okay. All right. I'm done.
It's still, we keep advertising this before we even had a contract to move on. You cannot do advertise for something that's not legitimate, and this is not a legitimate factor. This is illegal in all senses of the words, and if you brought it down to ethics or anything else, you took it to the Attorney General, she would be in big, big trouble. Because it was all, and plus the contract, who signed the contract that you got today?
Lena Snowdale.
Okay.
And what's her role on this? Is she a board member?
I believe she's a member of the Social Children's Museum on that board. I don't know.
Going to the
I wouldn't-
website, she's not.
On which website?
Social Children's Museum main website.
Does it list their board?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know who she is. Go ahead.
Can we be specific? Joan, what exactly, other than the rental agreement coming in, what exactly is the legal hit? Maybe saying that she's,
This is illegal.
What laws is she breaking?
well, I'm just trying to, listen, I'm not
She
trying.
advertised before it was even accepted. She hasn't even paid anything until today. Okay, this whole thing is deceptive.
That's the word.
And it could possibly be
Deceptive.
deceptive. It also could be.
Not saying it's deceptive, yes, I just want to make it clear.
You'd have to talk to a lawyer to find out how bad and how deceptive it is and to what degree it is.
It's accepted practice that she sent someone down that didn't really represent, I believe, their board statement, the social children in the beginning, but they could just for 1 second.
Go ahead.
This piece of paper right here that was passed on the table, anything that was in conjunction of the camp, with the exception of Storyblock Authority, state specifically South Shore Children's Museum and Camp Warning, this is off of their website. And the other thing that is just marked as South Shore Children's Museum is just South Shore Children's Museum. Out of all these dates, the only two, when I called Town Hall at accounting, when I went to Dory, when I went to the last town administrator, we only have two, what we've done, we've only been paid for 2 events. And that was September 13th and August 30th, 2020. According to them, they have no record of any payment being made. So, do we want to continue renting? Because someone that doesn't pay or doesn't have proof of pay.
Go ahead, Dan. I'd like to go to your point, Joan. I don't, and to you guys as well. Deception, I disagree. Chaotic and unorganized, absolutely. And I'm sorry if that offends anybody. And we clearly, well, you clearly need policies and procedures that deal with those events. I don't know, like I said, I don't think there was any malice involved here. That is just my opinion. Obviously, everybody is entitled to their own. I think we spend an inordinate amount of time dissecting this when none of these events that we have had here have ever been harmful or I realize that's not the point. I realize that. But I think as a commission, we could avoid it, having the policies and procedures about it. And I think this one was sort of on us as well, that we've had these events in the past. We still don't have the policies and procedures for it. So, on the flip side of your point, what have we done in the past? The Social Children's Museum has every right to expect that to continue being done as well until we fix policies and procedures. So you can go flip side on both on that point. And again, I will never agree that there was malice here and that there was any intention of deception. I will back it all day long when I say totally unorganized, chaotic, and everything else. Not easy to deal with because of last minute stuff. However, thank God no one else wanted the date. I think to avoid it, you just put a policy in place, and that goes for every single event we have at the camp. Maybe you have to have, may I ask this, if she had come and said last week and said, hey, I want to throw a party this Saturday night, and I want to, and I have a liquor license already approved, can I do it? Would we be able to say, yeah, it's an open date, go for it?
Oh, if it was a strict 4-hour rental, sure.
Is this a strict 4-hour rental?
This,
Yeah.
this is the paperwork is, the answer is yes. And this is a comedy night, which I understand is money at the door and a comedy night.
Okay.
So it's different than,
Where does it say money at the door?
that's what I heard.
It says tickets are $40 for tickets text. To me, this implies book your ticket or reserve your ticket.
But it doesn't disclaim that you can buy it. Nothing says that you can't get it.
Nothing says you can't.
But
I mean, she should be able to.
Well, that's
She's
probably
got
an
money,
issue.
not us.
Money at the door.
Okay, all right.
That was
And
it. They were taking money at the door.
okay, great. You know what, but again, I don't think we have a policy for it. Should we? Absolutely. Is that something that we should add into this? And I think this commission met 2 weeks ago, and none of us, myself included, brought up a situation like this.
Because we didn't know about it.
That's not the point. Here we are presented. No, it isn't.
You can't discuss something if you don't know about it.
It's incumbent upon us as a commission to come up with these situations so that we can deal with them when they do come up. And we were proactive in doing that,
I would.
myself included.
That practice. I mean, I've been here for 6 years. We've been doing 80-20 for at least that time. If not, I'm sure the bosses were on here with 80-20 also.
You were the first commission to do an 80-20 split. We never did that. Well, it's been since this commission has been in place. It is not how the past commission dealt with fundraisers.
So this aside for a second. So you said that there's events here that were paid for that we were supposed to be split with, we should get money.
Only Winter Wonderland was the Winter Wonderland and Easter Run. Those are the only two occasions that the camp was involved in being a co-pilot.
Okay,
The other ones are all
So let me ask Brian a question about this. So you said you talked to the town accountant, you talked to the town hall, and they have no recollection of any payment that's here. Okay, can you provide that to us, those documentations to us that you reached out to them or something along those lines? Or I don't know if we can check with Todd, the town accountant, and get every single one of these events to figure out if any of these weren't paid for. Because it could be somebody has it somewhere in town hall. They either have it or they don't. So I don't know who, like.
We have the contracts with her, any of those other dates, other than the
Frank,
first one.
Madam Chairman, Frank, you would have a copy here in the Dory's office as far as paying the journal, the cash journals, as far as those events that turn over, because we have one here in copy of the
Correct. So this event is 2 weeks away. It's next Friday, not this Friday. That's a bigger issue to me. If there's events here, if there's events here that are not paid for, that's a bigger issue. That's right. Like this. So that needs to be found out. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't even think we can. I don't know if we can legally break a rental agreement. I mean, what do you think?
Do we have a policy on that?
We haven't signed the rental agreement, it's signed on
Okay.
our side.
Okay.
We signed it, but the town of Hanson has not signed it, we just got it.
Okay.
The Selectmen Act is agents for the State Liquor Commission, and that license that was granted was specific, has to be for a specific time, and a specific purpose for a specific individual. And obviously, what the Selectmen voted was not for that individual, not for that specific purpose, but they voted for car. So if I was sitting on the board of selectmen and I basically violated the laws of the Commonwealth, and there was going to be an event here that was totally not what I actually voted for liquor license for, I wouldn't be very happy about it. So that has to be changed. We have to tell the selectmen if you're going to change the event, and it's going to be what it says in that, Brian handed out there, then the selectmen should be informed, and they should consider that vote and vote for what it actually is going to be.
But that's making an assumption that this Leah, whoever this, I don't know who she is, I don't really care about who she is, but whoever she is, that she's not like running the event on behalf of the South Shore Children's Museum, right? Just because she's on a board member, doesn't mean she can't be an event planner or coordinator or something like that. So I'm not making.
Who knows? Who knows who it is?
Yeah, but realistically, if somebody had a wedding planner in here, okay, so. No. So, I mean, we all care, right? Because that, like, it's the commission that should care about it. But what I'm saying is that, you know, we're not in the business of, like, a wedding coordinator, right? Like, we don't care who the wedding coordinator is that comes in here, right? Like, the South Shore Children's Museum, you know, had an event coordinator that came in here, was doing all of this coordinating for the event, and, like, if she rented it out, that, you know, that's kind of on them to do that. But, like, my biggest concern is not the comedy night, is these events. That if they have not been paid for, that is the biggest concern that I have.
What about caretakers, the amount of people you're gonna let in? Doesn't that apply to us?
So, I mean, it applies to
Security,
the
bar
other,
service?
well, I believe they have bar service, but, I mean, it
It's
would
a little
be.
different for a birthday party than an event like this. And this wasn't done overnight. We're gonna book these comedians.
I'm,
Well, in advance.
Brian, I'm not defending the way that she did it. Don't make a mistake. I'm defending the way that she did it. But what I'm saying is, this is like second tier stuff, right? Like, I'm more concerned about this right here. This is my biggest concern. This right here, I mean, if it turns out that she didn't pay any of these bills on here, then she can't have the event anyway.
We don't
Because
have any contracts for those bills either.
It's very simple to find out.
they're all meetings, they're all recorded,
Recorded.
all, you know, all of them. So, I mean, you know, that's just my sense.
They recorded it happened, but there was no contract that was signed and made out with her for that.
I get
We had to
the
fight
picture.
with her to get the money for the Easter Bunny event and the Winter Wonderland event. And I have copies of what she sent for a bill, and it was supposed to be gross, and it wasn't, it was net. But she wrote, okay, you mentioned about the deposit, she was using the deposit for something, that she had 50 tickets. Okay, did she give you the money? You was at $200 that she had in reserve, right?
$200 that that's being referred to in that letter, that was the $200 security deposit for a prior event,
Right, it was for the golden oldies.
for the Golden Oldies,
Okay, it
exactly.
says in here, we had talked about having another golden oldies.
Yep.
The guy that does the Frank Sinatra was
Yeah.
sick, so anyway, she wrote back, and this is from her back in 2/26/2021. Hi, John, I still have 50 tickets outstanding for that show. People wanted to hold their tickets until things got better. Please let me know if I can have the golden oldies. So she's already documented that she wanted to have another golden oldies event.
Right.
To have with this, but this has nothing to do with this. So she can't take the money from this and put it to wherever she wants to put it. She's already committed to doing it to the golden oldies.
And she has outstanding tickets. Money for
She
tickets.
has the money.
So,
She has
okay,
the
so-
tickets.
So,
This is from March 20 February 26th.
we can't regulate somebody's bad business practices. Like, I mean, so I agree with you, I get what you're saying, but we're not in the business here as a commission. I didn't sign up to be regulating the South Shore Children's Museum bad fundraising or business practices. That's not what I'm here for. So like, I understand that we can shut it down, and if this is deceptive and the board, like, that's a board decision, we can make that decision. But like, I mean, I don't care if she has money from the Golden Oldies and she wants to do another event. Like, that's, you know, if people hold on to their tickets and she told them, that's on
But she has
her.
the money, isn't it?
But that's between the people who gave her money and her. That's not between us to decide. I mean, if she's listing that she's a 501c3 in this paper right here, this fundraiser, and she's not a registered 501c3, that's between the people who are giving her money and her, not
That's
us.
exactly right.
I think we should just, I think we should just make a motion.
I mean, we need to move on
I-
at this
Should we,
point.
should we vote or should?
So I don't know what's being, go ahead, Brian.
Quick thing, we can resolve all this, if through the chair and through the commission, I could ask Dory to find out exactly what has been paid. She has all the records. She's a record keeper. She can let us know probably within a couple of days maybe, if we get paid for all these events. Is that fair enough?
Oh, yeah.
So where did these events come from?
Her website.
But
They
this,
were-
but we don't
here.
have contracts that these events happened here,
They did happen here.
but we don't have contract proof that these
We have
events happened here.
witnesses, they're all over the Facebook pages, so they did happen here. Dory was at a couple of them.
Did you have a contract, an 80/20 contract split for all of these?
No.
Go ahead, Diane.
No.
She
I don't-
was
No,
signed it.
hold on. I think the story walks with Dory,
Were paid.
the ones were paid, yes.
Story
And I think,
and the Easter,
and the Easter Bunny egg hunt
that's
were paid.
paid.
However, I don't know about the ladies' night out. The Winter Wonderland was our event. We wanted to do that.
That's not the way it's advertised on their website, so I'm sure we see in conjunction with Camp Maloney.
I'm sorry?
That had us co-partner with South Shore Children's.
The Winter Wonderland? Yeah, so we don't need a contract for that because it was us.
So those two events were Recreation Commission events?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Storyblock Halloween party, are you talking about the Halloween party from, I don't,
We're going back to 2020.
2020, yes.
did we have a rec director at that time that was supposed to take care of all this?
Well, this last Halloween, did you had, the rec commission had a Halloween party last year, right?
We had a lot of rain.
Yeah.
Put
So
on
that's
two
what
different
this is.
days? No, we didn't have it on two different days, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that, last year it did rain, remember, it was spectacular.
No, not last year.
It was
2 years ago.
spectacular. I think you're talking about 2 years ago.
Oh, maybe
Before I was
2
here,
years.
I heard it was a rain washout.
Yeah. Sorry, but, so, we had two Halloween parties in 2020.
Two story walks.
Um,
We paid for the boards. I don't know where the boards are going to. but
They're
we paid
upstairs.
for the boards, okay.
And big pumpkin story walk, I don't know about those three events, but I think at that time we were working with another recreation director that was supposed to handle all that. So if that crosses by the wayside,
Then I think I mean, I don't think you can go after somebody for money if you don't have a contract with them. regardless of whether or not they have the event here or not.
And it could be incumbent upon us, because as a commission, we have a rec director that may or may not have taken care of that thing as was correct.
So,
If you book the event, you schedule it at a particular time, and the event was held, you've got every right to collect that money, whether or not there was a contract or not.
But if you don't have a rate, if you didn't say to them, this is gonna be 80/20, if they have no knowledge.
just rented the hall.
Right, they just, there's nothing
So what
here
are you
that says,
gonna make them pay?
what are you gonna make them pay?
You're gonna give it to them for free?
Well, I don't know what you do if you don't have, they don't have a signed contract, how can you go after somebody to pay you for something if
Did
they don't
they-
have a signed contract?
Was there a deposit? Was there a check?
Well, these are all things that nobody knows. I wasn't on the board then, so I'm not sure, if these events happened or if they didn't happen, but if there's not a trail of paperwork, I don't know how you can go after them for payment.
That would
If
be
they were
my-
here, they had the event, they collected the money. They should-
Anybody can put something on the calendar, it doesn't mean that it
I don't
happened.
remember having all of these events either. I don't remember being, and I was here.
Yeah, hold
And
on.
just because they're listed, I can't, I
So you're
don't.
gonna believe her and say, I'm making this stuff up.
No, no,
I'm not saying
it's
you're
just-
making anything up.
Just because she put it on a website doesn't mean that,
so.
I think we're spending too much time on
I mean,
this, we need to move on and just attack this.
Can we just, okay. Through you, Melissa, please. Can we just have Dory confirm that these events happened to you? If there's a check for them, if there's money that was with them, something like that? And I have no issue with coming back next Monday to make an emergency meeting to decide on this at that point. We have all the information, or even Thursday, Friday. I have no issue with that. But I think we can't decide on this right now without this information right here.
Could I ask if you have a calendar, still have the calendar of events, would that date is filled in, that event?
If we do,
yes,
if we do it and it's there, it would have been taken care of by the previous recreation director.
Yeah, so it would be on the calendar of events. So
No,
just-
no, Bruce. It should be on the calendar of events.
It's a manually inputted calendar, right? So what Diane's saying is the recreation director was not doing his job or something like that, and then he wouldn't have put it in.
That's not at all what I'm saying, we would never say that on camera.
Sorry, not that, but what I'm saying is if by chance somebody didn't do their job, they wouldn't have put it on the calendar.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Just by chance, right?
Just by chance. Sorry, Diane.
So can we agree, we'll get more information on these events, confirm whether we did receive money, if they actually happened, some more detail on that?
Yeah.
Dory, I think I'll do that.
And I don't even think you would need to have another meeting to decide this. I think we need to just sign the contract.
Right.
So.
Right. Oh, go ahead.
Dory sent out before we came to the meeting tonight, only one signed contract by Julie, and it was in August. It was the 27th day of August in 2020. That's the only day that we have a contract for, okay? Now, from what I understood, was Bill was the director at the time, and what was supposed to happen was that we only did for one day. We only had one day that the contract was signed for. It wasn't signed for all the other days. She was under the assumption that irregardless of whether it was for all the days or anything else, she still was responsible for paying for those, and there's never been any money. I have the paperwork that she sent out for the two events that she did give us the money for.
Okay.
This is the Easter egg hunt. This is what she gave sent to us.
The initial contract does say hereby agrees to pay 20% of the revenue received from the activity of the Recreation Commission in lieu of rental fee. So if you're going by past practices,
but
pay your rent.
that's for a specific event.
So.
That's not a blanket
I-
contract.
Again, past practices.
So what I'm saying is what I think we should do is just find out, and if she's not, I understand that you're saying that she didn't pay us for any of these contracts, I get that, but we can't just say that she didn't pay us for any of these contracts. We actually need the town treasurer, we need Dory to go through and confirm that she didn't pay for any of these contracts. Or right now, here's any money.
For that. And I've never got an answer back. I got nothing back except those two, what I sent you, the one contract.
Yeah,
August 20th.
I understand.
We never got
I get
any
that.
money on that day.
I understand that, but also that was given to us 5 minutes after this meeting started, or 2 minutes before this meeting started, that we got all this information that's here. This should have been, this should have been dealt with months ago, like when we first joined the committee, we should have had this list of events that they potentially didn't pay for. So we can handle it then, not, you know. So, I mean, I think Dory should do her job with the town treasurer and give us concrete proof that these events were not paid for, and then we can move on from there. And that's, we can sit here all night going back and forth.
Okay, can we move on then?
Okay. Moving on.
Where do we stand at this point, that the,
I'd like to make a motion, go ahead, Diane, that we table this until we have the information that we're looking for regarding payments from the South Shore Children's Museum to Camp Hawaiian and past events.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Which means there's no direction.
We can have it if we want to, no? We can make them ourselves.
You gonna sign up to it?
We go to David's.
Come dressed up.
John, we were kind of dress up.
All right, moving on. Approval of minutes, October 12th, open session meeting minutes.
everybody vote on that? Is that a 4-3 vote?
Sorry, what? Oh,
Yeah.
George, did you get the vote? What was the vote?
It was unanimous, I believe, was it? So,
No.
It was 4-3.
Four, three.
It was 4-3 table.
And then you say all opposed. You have to say all opposed.
Oh, all opposed. Good?
yeah.
Okay. All right, approval of minutes, October 12th. Did everyone get to read them? Anyone have any questions or comments?
Thanks for doing those, Dory, they're nice and clear and concise.
Thank you.
Motion to
approve.
approve.
Second.
All those in favor? October 25th, minutes, same. Anyone have anything?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Okay, new business. Reorganization of the Recreation Commission members. Go ahead, Ray.
I vote we pass over since Dory didn't start the meeting in regards to this. I don't think the vice chair can do this in the midst of.
I thought she could because Melissa's
Negative.
vice chair.
According to Robert's rules, the administrative assistant and the town administrator has to open a meeting to reorganize the meetings, reorganize the columns, just like the town administrator did when they did the board select. Whereas she didn't open, I would have to agree with Brian.
Sounds good. Go ahead, Julie.
In your policies and procedures, it does say if there's a vacancy on the commission, if the vacancy occurs and the membership of the committee business may still be attended to during meetings whereas the quorum is present. So as long as we have a quorum, we're all set. We don't have to do anything else. Then it just tells you, after, it's on page 2, even her revised ones, and it does say that the role of the commission tells you exactly what we're supposed to be doing.
Motion's up, and I give it so moved. Can you get a second?
Second.
What's the
So
motion?
You made a motion to pass over.
To pass over the reorganization of the Recreation Commission members.
Till the next meeting.
Till the next meeting.
That way she, because.
Then Dory
she would have to
will-
open it, right.
Oh, I see.
Well, but didn't John just say that Dory doesn't have to have a meeting?
Dory
I
has
didn't
to.
say that, I said we didn't have to replace anybody, we didn't have to.
Oh,
do
okay,
anything.
okay, that makes sense.
We can
Okay.
still have all meetings and all business can be attended to as long as we have a quorum. And we do have a quorum because everybody's here, even including the one who resigned. So it's actually a position change that's happened, not
Not until
after December
After
1st, I
December
don't
1.
want we need to do it all. So we have to look at the laws for-
Okay, next, accept $100 gift. That's fine. Thanks, Ryan.
You're welcome.
All right, I guess
Those in favor?
all those in favor of Brian's motion,
Yeah, so,
pass over the reorganization. All those opposed? Okay. All right. Moving on, I guess. Accept a $100 gift from Joe and Frazetti for the spectacular/Winter Wonderland. So is that what we're doing, Dory? We're kind of slashing it Winter Wonderland because the spectacular didn't happen, so we're.
Yes,
Okay.
that's right, exactly.
Okay.
So moved.
Motion to accept?
Thank you, Joan.
Thank you, Joan.
I couldn't do anything.
Second. All those in favor?
It's a big help.
Melissa, the Derek Welch donation is the Sullivan USA one that we approved last meeting.
Oh, okay.
But we got the check, so.
Okay.
So do we approve it again?
Yeah, because it was a blanket list that you had mentioned,
Okay.
but we didn't
Okay.
have any checks, so that, once we actually get the check, then we can approve the gift, and then I can send it on to the board of selectmen.
So, yeah, there's a move, I'm sorry.
Derek Welch,
Yeah,
Sullivan,
he was a business, right?
Sullivan's USA.
Motion to accept the donation from Sullivan USA.
Second.
All those in favor?
This is also obviously a fund for selectmen approval.
Okay, old business, policies and procedures, continued discussion on revisions.
So, I implemented, added in all the edits that we made last week. I just suggest maybe for the meeting, you guys read them over. And, maybe when our, tempers are down a little bit, start to put some thought into the fundraising, creating a policy for that. And, maybe we can come back at the next meeting and discuss a new policy for fundraisers. But I realized I didn't get these out to you guys sooner for you to review them, and there's a lot of information here. So I can send a PDF format to Dory so that she can share with everybody. So if you prefer to have it on screen, you can do that. But that would be my recommendation for that. Go ahead, Diane.
May I suggest including in the next bullet the increase of rates, that people send along their suggestions for that too, so that we can sort of do it all together. And
I like the idea of maybe things that you think we should charge for. Because right now, Dory and I are working on a budget. We didn't get to talk about it that much today. We were scheduled to meet. But just like an overall, what our operating costs are, what our caretaker costs are. So we need a bottom line figure so we know when we're raising rates what we need to ask for. So that is in process. But I think it would be helpful because we talk in these meetings about like we should charge the caretakers for the kitchen and things like that. So all those sort of things, if you wouldn't mind emailing them to Dory, and her and I will work, when we're working on the rates together.
And may I say one thing? Think of every possible scenario that can happen in this place, because it'll show up. Just think of everything.
So you need a motion to pass over this for now, until the next meeting?
Well,
I think
I
it's
think we
discussion,
discussed it.
discussion on revisions.
We're not voting on any revisions right now,
Right.
right?
No.
So that was the discussion.
Okay, can we move on? Reviews, continued discussion on implementing reviews after the event season is over.
So,
Yeah, I did get some paperwork from the town hall so that I was thinking the next meeting, I have to go through and make it specific to us. Go through and put it on the agenda, and if you can approve the actual form, we can put that into action. If you'd like me to do that.
So it would be a general form for us to use?
Yes, I've got a review analysis form that the town hall has.
consistent with what they use for every employee.
Yes, which they,
And technically, these are caretakers and everything are town employees.
oh yeah, right, but it'll be different language and everything. So if you like, I can work on that one and then present it to you at the next meeting.
Okay.
Go ahead, Joe. We need to have a caretaker job description for everything and what their responsibilities are. Like, what are they supposed to do weekly? What each person is supposed to do, like maintenance, groundskeeping, all of that stuff. Caretaker one, and there used to be one other, and and it was rewritten, but it wasn't rewritten correctly.
Go ahead, Jen.
I was under the assumption that we're all the same job description. I don't know that there's a groundskeeper and a events caretaker. I know you've had discussions based on it, but I don't know that we've ever been hired as separate caretakers, so I've been under the assumption that we're under the same job description and we're all expected to do the same jobs. Those are
Because it's supposed to be weekly projects as assigned by the commission, and it tells you this all. There is the list out, there has been a list out.
Yeah.
But I found it through looking through different things, so it's partially, it's not, I was gonna try and rewrite it, and I haven't had, between my son being in the hospital and everything else,
Go ahead,
I
Frank.
get it. It's been since June 28th, he's been on there.
So, would those job descriptions be in our policies and procedures? Is that what we just kind of make a general job description for that?
No, they're not.
I hate to put more work on Dory, but is there, what's that?
Wait.
I think if we could probably wait till next season to get it kind of, probably around February or something like that, we can get a job description going, we can actually start hiring more caretakers, and then kind of have that written down, like what you're saying, written down, just probably have that discussion. If you have the old district, if you have the old, caretakers.
It just says what their weekly projects are, winterizing the property, and this is just one page. But some of them I had to handwrite, because I copied it off of another paper, but I had found somewhere else. But they're supposed to, someone from them is supposed to be available, like, to meet with the services such as the septic service, the alarm service, and electricians. It isn't always Dory's job to have to move, because where we have caretakers, that was part of their descriptive point. I just haven't had a chance to.
Go ahead, Diane. Okay, I would never, it's just me, and I know I'm leaving, but I would never feel comfortable with giving the caretaker that responsibility of checking with electricians. I'd like somebody with a little more, okay, we're lucky because we have Roger, but what if we didn't have Roger? And I'm sorry to play out like that.
That's all right.
It's in a good way.
I know.
So I'd be careful, is all I'm saying, with a description like that, a responsibility like that. on a
Right, but I'm just
caretaker.
saying, that was part of the rules before. We can
Yeah.
omit anything we want to omit.
I think you need to
I
really
need to
just
write the whole thing out here.
kind of, again, thinking of every scenario that is going to present itself at this place, I think you need to really look at what you assign to who and the responsibilities, and take into account that we may not always have some of the wonderful staff that we have right now. And we may not always have commission members that have background in this kind of thing either, so it's just a thought. I also had we're done on reviews, I'll wait.
We have to make a motion for Dory to start that process, right?
Well, I think it should start in February, there's a lot on the plate right
Yeah,
now.
the job description starting in February.
Right, job
The
description.
reviews, we just have to vote.
Oh, the review.
For the review stuff, I think we just have to vote to approve the review.
The review
Right,
form.
Okay.
And I think we might get some stuff out of the reviews with some caretaker input on how the job descriptions should change.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, so after our reviews, we should, that's when we should.
I think we all can agree that all the jobs that we have listed at this camp, some of them are outdated. It's easier to keep them than it is to get rid of something and then try to put it back on. So I just think maybe it needs to be tightened up. It needs to be tightened up. Yeah. And then I just have a quick question. Go ahead. Reviews. Are we done? Yep, reviews. Okay, 2 reports. Do you want to start with facilities? Any reports?
Can't get a contractor to speak of. Approximately 6. I did speak to Corey from Gordon, his son. I had to speak to the building inspector because there's some confusion in regards to general contractors and what they can and can't do. I think Gordon is one. I need to define that with Kerry, whether he can do the work and then sub out the electrical, the range hood, and just be the GC. But we've been told that he's not licensed to do that, but then he came back and said that he was. And so I'm going to go down that path, but I have to meet with Kerry tomorrow. So just what that entails and what does it mean, because we're getting confused. did speak to Corey at length about whether he could do it, and he did somewhat commit, and if we could give him the subcontract names, he can coordinate that himself. But I need to find out from Corey if we can do that work order.
I'm assuming Harry, I know Harry's been down here, said, right? Winter's coming, I'm just thinking heavy snow. I hope that they are aware of the situation and the urgency and just
They all,
because.
when I call them up, they all tell me, we can't get to you until June. These guys are max. In my work life, it's the same thing, so it's not like it's just not the stuff. A couple of them said to me, I wish we could work together. Gordon, Corey, same thing, we could get to it. Just need to find out. Just fix the roof.
Right,
And then we'll worry about it.
in the spring.
That's it. I don't even know where we are with the other roof, because that's on the agenda as far as damages there. Is there a roofer that we used, or is that going to be a golden thing too? Because there's damage there, so I don't know if there's a roofer that the town uses. We can use him for the roof on this side. We can tie those two projects together. Where we're going to go with that. Do we have insurance?
Yeah, actually, I was going to talk about that, about insurance, yeah.
Anything else?
I just have a question. I don't know if this falls under team reports, but I have a question. Have you heard the concern about the transfer?
No, not yet, the date hasn't been set yet, no.
How are we doing?
Yeah, fine.
I have some here, yeah. So I talked to Dory the other day. Some people from the Hanson Theater group have asked about putting on a play for 2022. We would like it to be a big production if we're bringing the theater back to him, wanting to bring, you know, more people. Matt's got middle school kids. It's sort of how it all, you know, worked. And so I did, in talking with some people, they want to do Christmas Carol in 2022. So I did talk to Dory the other day before I was going to bring this up, and all of the dates that we wanted were available. So that was great.
In December.
Yeah, so it would be, the last wedding was November 12th, I believe. It would be 2 weeks for set build, and then we would have 2 weekends for production. So it would be, we would start set building on the 13th, and then the events, the play nights would be the weekend of December 3rd, and then the weekend after that. And I confirmed with the people in the play group that would be directing the dates, and they were good with that. And then talking to Dory tonight, she had a bride come in and wanted to book December 3rd. So
Today?
Yes.
Specifically.
2022. So unfortunately, if we did the wedding, we couldn't do the play because we need 2 weeks for set build, and we couldn't build a set and have a play before Christmas if we had a December 3rd wedding. She hasn't put in a deposit, she hasn't put in an application, she just penciled in the date. So I guess this is, you know, it's up to the commission if they want a wedding or if they want a theater production.
Renter the Dickens style elevated court.
Well, that's the other thing too. If you agreed on a theater production, we have in the past let renters know. I mean, mostly they were holiday parties, but hey, there's going to be, you know, Scrooge's office is going to be set up on the stage. Are you okay with that? And they have been. But you know, we don't know at this point where the stage is going to be. We've done stages on this end. We've done stages on that end. We've done stages right through the middle. So at this point, you know, we don't really know. Traditionally, when we've done Christmas Carol, we've done it on the stage here. So
Would you charge admission?
So we would charge admission. This would be a recreation commission event. So it would all, 100% of the proceeds would come here because we would be able to use Eventbrite to sell tickets. And I can explain a little bit too of what goes into a play. You know, like what. So we would start rehearsals probably. What do you think, Maddie? For December, probably summer, right?
July, August.
Yeah, and it would be 2 nights a week.
Not during the weekends.
It's a Sunday night. It's usually always a Sunday night, and it's like 1 weeknight. The weeknights are usually for like, you know, specific scenes, you know, so it's not like a whole group of people. It would be, you know, a few people here. And then Sundays are an all cast. Sunday evenings are all cast, which we would work around wedding schedules and stuff. They always did before, so that's not an issue.
How many hours are each session?
Well, they would be from, I don't know, like, do you remember Bruce, like, Maddie?
Couple
I
hours.
don't know,
Couple hours a day.
yeah, it's a few hours. But you would have, I would be in the production, part of the production, Maddie would be, so you would have us here, you wouldn't necessarily have to pay caretakers for any of the rehearsals.
And they would be 1 weeknight and 1 Sunday.
Yeah, usually, it used to be Tuesdays and Sundays, those were always the nights, but, you know, depending on what you have going on between drama kids and yoga and whatever, we would work around that.
Go ahead, Frank.
I would much rather have a play here than the wedding. So that's just my opinion. So I think that'd be pretty good. I think everybody would love that. So everybody who talks about the plays can't want it. I've never been to one, so I don't know, but
They're pretty fantastic.
I heard some good things. So yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I'd definitely rather have a play than the wedding.
And just, I've never been here when there were plays or
Yeah.
anything, but how much do you charge usually for tickets?
It's usually like $10 a ticket.
A person?
Yeah, $10 a ticket. I can tell you that every night will oversell out.
So, yeah.
Yeah, sold out. It's like instantly. We've been, every night we're adding chairs. adding chairs. I think Maddie's had people literally sitting in her lap because, you know, people come to the last minute and they're like, you
So
know.
can we have Bruce and John be the brother brothers?
One in January, we're already.
Everyone's already picking up.
I'll be screwed.
And I want to say, if you've never
Actually, I think I'd pick you for Marley. No,
If you
I was thinking of the guy in the coffin first.
And if you've never been to a play, it's even more fun being in it. So, you know, we would welcome you guys, especially with your young families, to that's how we started. When Haley was 5 years old, it was 20 years ago, I did my first play. Peter Pan, we did it as a family, and we were hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Diane.
This woman hasn't put down a deposit yet.
No, she just came in today and said she is determined on that date, looked around, wanted to book it, said we definitely want it. I gave her the rental agreement, she said she's gonna come back with her dad with the money. She was specific about the date. But
I would like to actually ask her if I would think you should tell her about the play and then ask her if she would like to work
with it, or are there?
I don't want to just.
Well, December 3rd would be an actual play night. That would be a production night. The play would be December
It's a
3rd.
Friday or something.
It's a Saturday.
Saturday.
So the play
Weekends.
weekends,
Another date.
the play weekends would be, because we wanted it to be Thanksgiving weekend and the first weekend, but that didn't, with the last weddings that were already booked, didn't give us enough time for set building. So the play weekends would be the 2nd, 3rd, and a matinee on Sunday, and then the 9th, 10th, and a matinee on the 11th of December.
So you would start setting right after Thanksgiving?
We would start set build on the 13th, because the last booked wedding is 11/12.
Oh, okay.
And you do 2 days.
We need 2 weeks.
No, I don't mean that, I mean the dates
The
of.
performances are Saturday, Sundays, and
2
Saturdays.
weekends. It would be
Friday, Saturday, and then
Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
Two quick things. One, you mentioned the Eventbrite, but the town uses Unipay. How are we getting out of that?
We were told we can use Eventbrite for our events up here.
Okay, so we can change that now?
Well, Unipay is, I think if you're paying through the town website, but if we're having an event here, we're allowed to use Eventbrite.
So,
We haven't been able to since we've been on.
I got confirmation from Jim Hickey and Todd that we can use Eventbrite for, and we've used Eventbrite for the 200th anniversary, and that's a town committee. So that's how we're selling tickets for the galas, through Eventbrite.
Says it's not what you meant.
Because it allows, the difference is that it allows for a report. What the town accountant needs is itemized line with who's buying, who's spending what, and Eventbrite will give us a check at the end, and then it'll give us that report that the town accountant needs for auditing purposes.
Would there be a bar service there also?
Oh, yeah. Well, Friday and Saturday night, I don't remember if the bar's there on Sunday. I think it is.
We bring our own.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and the caterers.
Caterers.
It's not catered, it is just a bartender.
So I guess,
It's new to me. I kind of like to hear from the board of selectmen approving this. Again, I think we never used them, always been told absolutely not. Just two
is
people
there a
saying
way
yes.
Do you want me to get it in writing that we can use Eventbrite? Is that what you're worried about? I'll get it in writing.
Only because we don't want it to back off. and
I'll
stuff.
get it in writing. Yep.
Because we've had trouble before trying to go with somebody else. And then we thought we could, and then all of a sudden they said, no, you can't do that.
I'll get it in writing from Todd because he gave us permission to use it.
So that would be a good thing. That would be
Well, that doesn't
something.
bother give us permission to do anything like that.
We were told it was, because of the treasurer collector didn't want to do it. That's what
Right,
we
but where does Todd have the power within the town to tell
say what we
people-
can and cannot use.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
It's
know.
kind of his job.
I don't
That's why
know.
you gotta hear from like the board of selectmen.
I will get a vote from the board of selectmen then.
I mean, they can sign up on that too.
I'll do that.
Everybody.
I'll give us on the next
I'll
one.
do the treasurer collector too, since she's the one that's always. It's only a protection for us to only not come down at the last minute and find out that we're,
That's fine.
you know,
I'm comfortable enough with it.
The wedding,
good.
I mean, like Dory said, just need to talk to the lady, see what she would like to do with it. I kind of would, and I understand the plays need to come back. We've been saying that since we've been on, and trying to get the plays back. I get it. But I also don't want to say, hey, too bad. We've already talked, I've already shown you the place. You gotta come back with a deposit. If maybe we can get her to switch the date, or if you can get her to switch the date, fine, but if she's got locked on that date, it's kind of tough to turn around.
I think, to be honest with you, I think we probably make more money with the plays than we would with the wedding.
Absolutely.
I think between the bar service and selling, how many people would you have in here watching the play?
You're gonna use the words, we're not here to make money, we are here to provide recreation.
Which is exactly, which is a good point.
And accommodate people that want to rent this place.
Correct, but the play provides recreation for the town citizens
It does,
and makes us
but-
money.
There's no way to change the dates on the place.
We can't, because if we weren't able to start building the set until after the December 3rd wedding, that puts us after Christmas for being able to have a play. You can't have it in Carol after.
Right, I understand that, but I mean, maybe if she was agreeable to the scenery being. on
Her
the
wedding is
stage.
going to be on the second night of the production.
She wants December 3rd, they plan on performing on the 3rd.
Right, I understand, but I mean, if we could, I was gonna say, if we had it for the weekend of the 10th and the 17th, that, you know.
How long does it take to build the set? I mean, 2 weeks. 2 weeks? So if you built it on the 4th, when would it be available?
Christmas weekend and New Year's weekend.
That's kind of close.
I mean, if the wedding had given a check and an application, I think we'd have a different, it would be a different story. But there's no official
check or application. So I feel like, Dory, maybe we could work with this girl, you know, let her know the situation we have, you know, had a play for that day.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate on that one. She came, asked if the date was open. You told her yes. You gave her a tour. She said she wants it. Okay, so now we have this conflict because this is being brought up now, and it's it's a whole year away, so obviously you should bring it up. You know, I think you've got to explain the situation to her. I just think the board should really consider how that looks business-wise as well. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I think a play is great to have here. I would love to see them come back. I hope to go and watch you, Bruce, absolutely. You make a wonderful Scrooge. But I just think, I could not agree more. But I think it would have been nice to be able to say to her, no, sorry, it's already booked, I'm so sorry, or these are, it's not available.
Yeah, you don't want to get a bad review from someone who says, well, they told me it was open, then they said I could.
Right, and a bad review really can really bum you out.
So, Audrey, feel free to tell me now.
Yeah.
Would it be possible to do the 9th, 10th, 11th, and then 16th, 17th, 18th for December? And then the next weekend after that is actual Christmas, so it's 24th and the 25th into the next week.
I can ask, but the dates that I gave the production crew were based on what I got from Dory, were the 3rd and the 10th. So I don't know if that's pushing it too close to Christmas. However, that still gives us less than a week to build a set.
Well, you can still start building at the same time, though, right? I mean,
As long as that bride was okay with there being a set here, we would have to. We couldn't do it if we weren't able to build the set.
Could you have a performance on Friday and Sunday and then leave the Saturday, and if she's okay with the set? I mean, if she says that,
That's a lot of work because you're gonna have risers in here and chairs set up and all that kind of stuff. That's a lot of work for the caretakers to take down and then rebuild the next day.
Yeah, okay. No, I get it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't even consider that, I apologize.
If you're really looking for a problem, you could have a play that doesn't require much of a set, like our town. You could bring that back from 2000.
We talked about our town, but that wouldn't be Christmas. That could be in the spring. And nobody's interested in doing our town.
Can we not store the set? Right down here in the stage? I mean, is that possible? I don't know how big the set is. I've never been to a play before, so I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
So, I
usually
mean,
pretty
it's-
cumbersome,
Are they? Okay. So they couldn't be like broken down and moved to the back or anything?
Not easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
I was gonna say, depending on, this will be the director's decision on how it's set up, because we have plays on this side and on this side and on that side, but normally a big part of the set too is they build the stage out to make it longer, because the stage is so large. And to they build around that, so like, there wouldn't be no way to take that down, and for caretakers to be responsible for that.
Right. Like the platform that you guys put over there was a stage. That little deck, that was over here, but that's what they do. They build out the stage. It's not just on that stage. They build everything out so that it's.
Did you get any details of how big her wedding is gonna be?
No, I don't have any details,
Well, I think your first phone call tomorrow was to the
Yeah.
bride and just saying how serious is she?
Yeah.
Could something.
And again, I'm sorry, Brian, again, I'd hate to cancel a play and have her all of a sudden cancel between now and 2022, because we've had those things happen as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is really a judgment call.
Put on the charm, Dory.
Yeah.
Like it apple.
In the winter. It's freezing in there. There's no heat.
If you had a big enough trailer, could you store something in the trailer and bring it in?
It would depend on, again, it's gonna depend on what they build for a set, what they're thinking of for a set, how they're gonna build it, if it is, easily removable, because usually it's,
If it can be removed in sections, you store it in a storage trailer that you rent for, say, a week or two. It's here, she has her way, you bring it in the next day, it doesn't take 2 weeks to build if it's partially assembled. It's just a
again, I
thought.
just don't know what they're gonna build. they could want to build it all down here. They could want to make, I mean, we've had more plays on this end than we've ever had on that end.
It's true, but if they were able to build something that could be
Right.
broken down pieces, not piece by piece,
Right,
but in
right.
4 sections, put it in a trailer, down the
Roll
road.
it out if you need to, put on moving loads and all of it.
Just,
Well, I'll have to bring it to, it's not my decision, I'm not producing or directing, or, I mean, I'll be in the play, I'm sure I'll be helping with the play, but
So let's call, Dory's gonna call her tomorrow,
Yeah.
we'll get a feel, and then
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And
We'll let
we'll
you
report back
know.
to
Okay.
you.
Okay.
You had to have it for 2 weeks. You couldn't just do it when we get. It's not worth
To make it worth it.
No, no. That's a lot of prep work.
Money you get.
Yeah.
May I ask what's a typical play generate for funds?
Between $10,000 and $15,000, I would say. Maybe more than that for a big cast production, it's the biggest cast of people you have. Yeah.
You guys pay the actors?
No, everybody was a volunteer, 1,000% volunteer.
And obviously
Including
that's-
their own costuming, props, I mean, everything that's upstairs was donated by something and somebody. There's so much stuff up there that was in my house or my parents' house, and, I mean, it's all, nothing's, I think the only thing that you have to pay for are the rights to use the play. And we usually get a cultural grant for the cost to cover that.
Even without my Broadway stage experience, I don't charge a $100.
No, I know, right? Yeah, nobody is paid for their services.
And that's obviously more than right. My only concern was a review, like a business practice. That was my only concern, so.
Okay, all right, departmental updates, Dory, insurance update with regard to storm damage.
Yes, thank you. So we had the insurance adjuster come out here on Friday, came right out and looked at everything. Roger was here and we walked through together, and we had Roger fantastic input. So he looked at all the damage of all the pitches. He was very thorough, very thorough. And he's going to get back to us. He took pictures of everything, and he's going to get back to us just as soon as
which
possible.
sections did he take, which
Of the roof? No, oh, well, I actually had to take this
We
as well.
talked.
And I said,
Dory and I talked.
and I said that this was the damage from the storm. However, we do have a roof here that is in the, with the,
From previous.
yeah, from previous, was it leaking? I said, oh, yeah. So it's possible to maybe marry the two would be ideal. He said at a very, when Judy kind of said at a very minimum, you'd have a roofer out here for this anyway, so it would save something. So, yeah, he's gonna work on that, including that, and he also, we showed him everything Roger had mentioned. You can speak to Roger, I'd like if you would, mention the fire pits, and then actually, and then North End cabin. So, yeah, it was great. So he's gonna get that, put everything together, and get back to us, but he, came right out on Friday.
Was there any damage to the pavilion, or was it just the wires that came off?
Just the wires.
So it wasn't structural?
Correct. Correct, yeah, the structural was the large roof, 2 cabins in the north and 3, actually, the fire pits and 2 sets of wires in the south end. Is that it, Roger?
Fezzi's has a hole.
And Fezzi's has a hole in the roof, yes. He went up there and saw a hole. You can
Yes.
see through it, yeah, this big.
Is there water in the damage?
No.
It-
I talked to the fire chief today. Tentatively, we might be able to get the tower truck down there so I can go up on it and put a protection up on Fezzi's and put more up over here. We just put some temporary boarding. I need to put more strapping up there to secure it for the winter if it takes that long to do the repairs.
And the insurance company gave us the approval, go ahead and do whatever temporary measures you need to do to secure, whatever you need to secure.
And they will cover those.
It'll be all part of it, yeah, the materials bought today is all
And
under
his
repair.
pay.
Yeah. And yeah, well, exactly, and then Roger had a great idea of the propane. We had a $600 propane bill. That was due to the storm for 3 days. So he added, that was Roger's.
He's going to look into it to see if that can be covered as well.
And
I don't see why not.
Fire pit?
2 fire pits.
And did we include those?
Yep. Yep.
Just make sure we document everything.
Yep. Yeah, all the hours are being, written on with storm damage repair. Yeah, maintenance.
I do want to thank those that showed up and volunteered to help clean up. It was huge because there was so much debris over on that side. I don't think the caretakers could have done it themselves, so thanks for everyone that showed up.
There's still free labor going on, myself,
Thank you, Roger.
Jack.
And I know you volunteered a lot of your time.
So we've been out there working,
Yeah.
we were out there again today. We're still trying to clean up the south end, we're working into there. We do have the Boy Scouts, they were here this past weekend, had a beautiful turkey dinner. And I was amazed how they cook pies on the open fire.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
It was all Dutch ovens.
Oh, the box ovens?
They had one whole cabin filled with pies.
It's awesome.
But we have, I think it's Hanover coming in this coming weekend already, is it?
Yes.
The Hanover Boy Scouts?
Yes.
Yeah, that Boy Scout troop, yeah. Yeah.
So there's been a lot of volunteer work.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna name names, but there was people from this board. One selectman, I believe. He was here.
Got a picture on the table.
Yeah, the picture on the top.
I know.
We asked the politician.
I'm like, this is not politics. So anyway, so I just wanted to bring that up, so thanks everybody. All right, and then landscaping project update.
This picture haunts my dreams.
This
See
this
this
is
in
the
my
black hole.
Well, the reason,
It's like that, John.
Can I just bring up one quick thing, because it has to do with landscaping, is that I talked to Bo Dyer, who's donating the boulders from his property over across from the middle school, and he's happy to load them into truck, and he said the highway had a truck that would haul them here, and I emailed with Jameson, and he said absolutely, they'll take care of it. He's straight out, he's out for a couple weeks just with the storm cleanup and all that, but he said maybe the last week in November, and that was fine with Bo because he's, kind of crazy for the next couple weeks. So we're looking at like the last week in November to get those boulders up here.
So,
You're looking from Mr. Camillo's?
yes, he's gonna come up tomorrow, actually, and that's why I gave you this, because I wanted to say Brian went through Sion's and bought the trees. We actually have them. We got them on sale. We have the trees, and they're delivered them on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I saw the coupon, I was like, I was like, 20% off.
Yes, exactly.
$37 for all those trees.
Right.
So good.
And you ended up getting 5, right?
Great.
5. What did you get? 5.
What'd you get, Brian?
2 birch, 2 dogwood, and
In the red buds?
Two red buds, two birch, 2 red buds, and 1 dog.
Great.
The dogwood was supposed to go down with the granite that,
The ornamental.
The ornamental.
Okay.
so,
Okay.
yeah, there was supposed to be granite donated from
Alan Diaz is gonna be.
Alan's going to be one, right. So we can put that down there, and that's the one we were planning on saying, welcome to Camp One.
Yep.
Having put on that.
So I just put this in here, so you can look at this. This is just, the bird, see where it has the trees. Is that still, Alan's gonna come out tomorrow, so I can show him there. So that's pretty much.
So there's 4 or 5?
5. So where's the 1, 2, 3, 4?
Oh, okay.
So I just want to make sure that everybody, this is still where the thoughts are. Pretty much where the holes, based on whatever.
And where are they, when they dig holes?
Well, he's gonna come, he's, within the next 2 weeks, he's gonna come tomorrow and look and give you a specific date.
And we're
then-
still good if we put weather and stuff, it's still fine.
Right now, we are.
The trees are dormant and the ground's not frozen yet, so you're good to go. We've been working and it's very warm.
And see, Phil, exactly. And, Sion's gonna deliver the trees at the latest the next day, that day or the next.
This is paid for out of that grant, out of that money.
That's right, out of the snow removal,
Yep.
that's left over.
And you guys can determine where boulders should go. And again, I think you're right, we don't want too many on one place, but I think it's strategically placing them, even in some of the areas near, like, parking lot, or, around where people shouldn't be parking, over by the bridle path,
Oh, I also just, you guys got a copy of this. This is the, wedding planning guide that we had printed, so I picked them up today, and, so Dory and I talked, these are gonna go out like 60 days before the wedding, just, I mean, you can read it, it just gives you, things that we need to know 30 days before the event, and just some, what to expect before your event, at your event, camping accommodations, the campground rules, and frequently asked questions. So we feel like this is going to help with some of the rules that are constantly broken, like the alcohol, the candles, the confetti, and that sort of thing. That's really emphasized in here, that those things are not allowed. So
Are you gonna try to put this on the website?
Okay.
Like as its only tab, like it's only.
yeah, sure, I can send that to you.
Yeah.
And just make sure that everything in there matches up with our
electronic.
Okay, so if I go through, we make some.
Yeah, definitely.
Before you send it,
Yeah,
okay.
We don't have a schedule right now.
I think
We don't have a next meeting right now.
it would be 22nd. If you do it in 2 weeks. But we don't have 10, we did not vote it down.
I'm sorry, Ken.
I was saying, I don't know if I'm on there for a caretaker report. I only have one question.
Sorry about that. Melissa skipped me.
I'm sorry, I forgot. No, I was just, the only thing I was gonna ask is because, the Boy Scouts are coming next weekend. I don't know if you guys need to vote on this, but have you guys talked about the bathrooms yet? And we're gonna lock those down and winterize them. We're getting really late in the season to get the winterizing the bathrooms.
Yeah, I talked to Ed today, he wanted to do it this week, the winterize, but we have the Boy Scouts coming, definitely after that.
When are they coming?
That's
Are
what
they
I
coming next weekend?
I think it's next weekend, I gotta confirm with them tomorrow, that's what I have to find out. This coming Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, or after, or is it the next one? I think it's the next one.
I don't know if it's in here yet. so-
Yeah, I know, I have to call them and go back and forth.
Are they
camping?
Are they expecting the bathrooms to be open?
They're gonna go to the bathrooms, but you don't have to. We supposed to use the lost bathrooms, so that those can get both, I mean, what are they, can I ask, are they camping or just doing days? It's still unclear, that's what I can finalize tomorrow. Are they camping, are they cabins, just tents, and what are the days, and what are the times? So, otherwise, we would have closed this week.
Right.
We would have winterized this week, so I don't know. If it is the weekend after next, it might even be today. No, I was even thinking about that.
Who closes the bathhouses? Is it Ed? Does he do it?
The Paul Plummer does it.
So-
The water department shuts off the water.
Jim offered with Frank and Roger, I think, when we were here doing the cleanup, that he would come and work with Roger to show him exactly how to winterize, so that we don't have to pay a plumber. It was always the caretakers that closed the bathhouses and winterized. And we're in a budget crisis right now. I don't think, I think,
Save a couple $100.
yeah, at least that.
Yeah.
So he offered to come and
I'm
do
willing to do it
Roger,
if,
and- yeah,
We'll just have to pick up the antifreeze ourselves rather than,
Yeah, that's
have
it.
fun do it.
yeah.
Has the code been done yet?
Roger, when you do it, can you make like a step-by-step checklist, and so we have it every year after this, to, for.
Give it a good shot,
process,
yeah.
Yeah, so we can have some, next year, you can have it and remember.
Right.
You can do a brochure, yeah, you can do a little.
How to
Pinpoint
do it.
winterizing brochure.
So, I think we should do the next meeting on the 15th and skip Thanksgiving week, my suggestion, so that we can talk about this if we have to,
That works for me.
on the 15th. It's a Monday, is that good for people?
We're supposed to be doing something on this too.
This is the 19th, that's why we would have the meeting on the 15th.
In case we have to,
No,
right.
okay, that's,
Yeah.
then you mentioned having a
And then we don't have a meeting on Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, then we can, yeah, skip Thanksgiving week and go with it.
And just
Yes, George.
speaking of that, actually, as you brought up a very good point, I think the selectmen are meeting on the 16th. So as far as this event, as far as the board of selectmen vote, it was voted for a party for certain hours. So I think that I should resubmit to them for the
Yeah,
common
just-
night.
yes.
We'll do that anyway, regardless of the vote, just so we have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Have they paid for the liquor?
They did today, they did the liquor license and the rental, yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?